I'm making this little video because several of my friends in the Applied Improvisation Network have asked me about my work with people with disabilities. For a number of years now, I have been doing a program with memory care people at a local nursing home. And while I don't have any really firm ideas and don't want to tell you how to do your business, I would like to share with you how I present a improv program for these very, very special people. You will use your own skills, you will adapt to your own clients, but this is just an idea about how I go about it. There are just a couple of things to remember in general. The first is all of the improv rules apply, especially yes and. Working with these clients, they cannot, must not ever make a mistake. Anything they do was the right thing, and it's your job to make that work for you and for everyone else in the group. They may not understand the rules, it doesn't matter. If they are participating at all, they are doing the right thing. Make sure you reward them for it. So, okay, here's my program. You will want to adapt it to your own needs, but this is what I do. The first thing I always do is we start with our theme song. In my experience, these special needs people really like to sing. And having the theme song every time we have a session is also good for them because after a few sessions, they can remember the theme song. There's a lot of things they can't remember, but they feel very good when they can remember the theme song. So our theme song for my very special clients is based on Mac Davis's old TV program, and it's called "Oh Lord, It's Hard to Be Humble." With your permission, it goes like this. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble when you're perfect in every way. I can't wait to look in the mirror, 'cause I get better looking each day. To know me is to love me. I must be a heck of a man. Oh Lord, it's hard to be humble, but I'm doing the best that I can. So after we've sung that, and sometimes 2 or 3 times, and everyone gets into it, and we're feeling good about ourselves, we begin with the exercises. One exercise that we do almost every time, although we do vary it, and you will probably want to keep your program to right around 30 minutes if you're dealing with memory care people, although we sometimes go over a little bit. But at any rate, the first thing that we usually do is pass the clap. And this is a standard improv game. If you've done improv at all, you've probably played it. It's a very simplified version of it. Turning to the person on my left, I make a clapping sound. That person passes that on to the next, and so on and so forth. Then we vary the pattern a little bit, and so on. After a while, we change the rules so that in addition to passing it to the person on your left, you can send it back to the person you got it from. And usually, by the time we've done it for a while, I wind up just interacting with each individual member of the group as we pass the clap back and forth, just repeating the pattern for each other. It's a lot of fun, and what really seems to please the clients is when sometimes we get into a clapping contest and we get right up in each other's faces and we're clapping and clap, clap, and clap, 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 and so on, and everyone winds up enjoying that and laughing quite a bit. Another pass it along game that is surprisingly fun and effective is making faces. And this is sort of like pass the clap, except we pass an ugly face. I make a face to the person at the left, that person passes that on, the next person passes that on until the ugly face has gone all the way around the circle. Just really a lot of fun, very simple, and the clients really, really like it. It's sort of like, I think, because it takes them back to their childhood when they make faces, and then they spend an awful lot of their adult life knowing that they weren't supposed to do that. Now they can do it again and it's okay, and we just have a ball with it. Then I often go to imaginary gifts. Now, with imaginary gifts, again, it's a standard improv game, and you just give each person a gift and ask them to open it, and they open it, and then they tell you what it is. Don't be surprised if you get some really, really creative answers. This last time, one of my clients said, "I don't want it." And I said, "What is it?" She said, "I don't know what it is. That's why I don't want it." We all got a good laugh out of that. Very often someone will get candy in their imaginary gift, and we have a lot of fun passing that around, sharing it with everybody else. And usually, if we do something like passing candy or cookies, the next person who gets it will gobble it all up. Remember, of course, these are all imaginary gifts. A variant on the imaginary gifts game, and again, it's something, if you've done improv very long, you've probably played in your regular classes, is silly gifts or useless gifts. In this game, you give someone something imaginary, tell them what it is, and their requirement is to act excited to get it. I've had some really, really good responses to this recently. I gave someone a comb with no teeth in it, and he said, "Good, the old comb was making furrows in my bald spot." So, I mean, they get it, and they will surprise you with how much mental ability they have if it's just challenged a little bit. So that's a good game, and we enjoy playing that one. A game that we play almost every time that I think is also particularly good for people with memory loss and dementia is a variant on the game that we often play in standard improv of hop, walk, stop, jump, so on. In this game, we have adapted it so that we can play it with non-ambulatory people, and we just go like this. When I say nod your head, nod your head. And when I say shake your head, shake your head. Nod your head, shake your head. Nod your head, shake your head. And then when I say nod your head, shake your head, and when I say shake your head, nod your head. Nod your head, shake your head, and so on. Then we add, when I say clap, clap. When I say pat your foot, pat your foot. And then we reverse that. When I say clap, pat your foot. When I say pat your foot, clap. Then when I say point, point. When I say wave, wave. Point, wave. And then when I say wave, point. When I say point, wave. Wave, point. When I say pat your tummy, pat your tummy. When I say pat your head, and then you reverse that. You can have so much fun with that, and everybody gets a big giggle when somebody messes up, and we all laugh and have a really good time playing with that particular game. The game that we almost always finish with has been extremely popular with this particular clientele, and that is storytelling. We begin storytelling by creating an imaginary character. And we're all sitting there in a circle, and I say, okay, right there in the center of the room, there's a person. Is that a man or a woman? They will tell us. It's a woman in this case. Is she tall or slender? She's tall. Is she stocky or rather, is she tall or short? She's tall. Is she stocky or so on? And we create a woman, and what color is her hair? And then what is she wearing? And then eventually what is her name? And each time we repeat. Okay, so we've got a tall, slender woman. She has red hair. She's wearing a pink sweater and black slacks with high heel pumps. All right, we've got her. What's her name? Well, her name is Mary Lou. Mary Lou has a problem today. What is Mary Lou's problem? Well, her sink is stopped up. So then I begin the story. One day Mary Lou woke up and her sink was stopped up. So she went to the phone and she called her, and then the class comes up with an idea, her mother. And she called her mother and said, "Mom, my sink is stopped up." And her mother said, and then they fill in, "Well, unstop it." Whatever. You have to be a little creative. You have to provide some leadership, but the stories get incredibly fun and incredibly funny. Not too long ago, when I started, we created a woman, and I said, "What is she wearing?" And they said, "Nothing." So after we got a big laugh about that, I said, "Okay, so here's a woman," and we described her, and she woke up one morning. She didn't feel like putting on any clothes, so she went out of the house, and the first person she saw was and they said, policeman. And the policeman said, "Where are you going?" And she said, "To the store." And the policeman said, "I'll go with you." So we created a whole story about a naked woman and a policeman walking down the street to the store. We always end with these stories, and the stories are very, very different, very creative. We laugh and we giggle and we act silly, and at the end of this half hour, we leave me feeling very fulfilled because I feel like I have maybe brought some sunshine into some lives that don't have a lot, and also because I just had a ball. And so have they. So if you are interested in dealing with special needs persons, I encourage you to give me a call, send me an email. I'd be happy to talk with you further. But in the meantime, I hope that this little video is going to give you some ideas about what you can do. Thanks a lot. It's been nice talking to you.